It was a crisp Monday morning when Jamal Carter stepped into the towering glass building of Carter Enterprises. Dressed in a simple yet elegant navy blue suit, he carried himself with quiet confidence. Today was a big day, his first official visit to the company he had built from the ground up after spending months working remotely. The air smelled of freshly brewed coffee, and the hum of employees chatting and phones ringing filled the atmosphere. As he entered the lobby, the receptionist barely glanced at him before returning to her computer. He noticed a group of employees gathering near the espresso machine, discussing upcoming projects. No one acknowledged him, and that was exactly what he wanted. He had always believed that the best way to understand a company's culture was to see it from the ground level, without any formal introductions. Jamal walked toward the elevators, eager to surprise his executive team. However, before he could step in, a sharp voice cut through the air. "Excuse me, where do you think you're going?" Jamal turned to see a tall, middle-aged man with salt and pepper hair and a firm stance. His name tag read, Ronald Hayes, Regional Manager. He exuded an air of superiority, his sharp suit pressed to perfection. "I was heading up to the executive floor," Jamal said calmly. Ronald's eyes narrowed as he looked Jamal up and down. "We don't allow loiterers in the building. The executive floor is for senior staff only. If you're looking for a job, HR is on the third floor." Jamal raised an eyebrow, a small smile playing on his lips. "And what if I already work here?" Ronald scoffed. "Doubtful. I know every executive in this building, and we don't hire people like you for upper management." His voice dropped to a condescending whisper at the last part, and the temperature in the room seemed to drop with it. The receptionist, sensing the tension, shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Several employees passing by slowed their steps, pretending not to listen but clearly intrigued. Jamal decided to play along. "So what exactly do people like me do here?" Ronald smirked. "Maintenance, mailroom, maybe security. But you're definitely in the wrong place. Now, if you don't leave, I'll have to call security." Jamal folded his arms. "Go ahead." Ronald, exasperated, pulled out his phone and dialed security. Within moments, two uniformed guards arrived, looking between Jamal and Ronald. "This man is trespassing," Ronald announced. "Escort him out." One of the guards hesitated. "Sir, are you sure? I said, get him out," Ronald snapped, his face turning red with irritation. Just as the guards moved toward Jamal, the elevator doors dinged open. A well-dressed woman with sharp eyes and a commanding presence stepped out. It was Linda Dawson, the Vice President. She took one look at the scene and frowned. "What's going on here?" "Just removing an unauthorized person," Ronald said smugly. Linda's frown deepened as she turned to Jamal. Then her face lit up in shock. "Mr. Carter, you're here." The entire lobby fell silent, Ronald's face drained of color. Mr. Carter?" Jamal smiled and extended a hand. "Good to finally meet you in person, Linda." She shook his hand firmly, then turned to Ronald. "I assume you know who our CEO is?" Ronald stammered, his confidence crumbling. I didn't recognize." Jamal's voice was calm but firm. "You didn't recognize me because you didn't want to. You assumed, based on my skin color, that I couldn't possibly be in charge. And that assumption nearly cost you your job." Ronald's mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. Jamal turned to the guards. "Thank you for your time, gentlemen, but I can handle this." The guards nodded and stepped back. He faced Ronald again. "A good leader knows his team. A great leader respects them, regardless of their background. I built this company to be a place of opportunity, not prejudice." Ronald swallowed hard. I apologize, Mr. Carter. I made a mistake." Jamal studied him for a long moment before saying, "Everyone makes mistakes. The question is, do you learn from them?" Ronald nodded vigorously. I will. I promise, Jamal nodded. We'll see. With that, he walked toward the elevators, Linda by his side, leaving a stunned Ronald standing in the middle of the lobby. As the doors closed, Linda smirked. Quite the entrance, Mr. Carter. Jamal chuckled. Sometimes people need a little reminder of what leadership really looks like. And with that, he stepped into his office, the one with his name engraved on the door, where he belonged.